Hello, I'm Roger Bisbee from Skill Builder, and in this series of videos we're going to be looking at products brought to you by Real Deals For You. And they've sponsored this series of videos, but they've asked Skill Builder to give some honest feedback and evaluation on those products. And if you like what you see, then follow the link on the screen and that will help you to find an approved local stockist. The product that we want to look at this week is big wipes. Now there are lots of these multi-purpose wipes around these days, but big wipes have really set the standard. They've set the bar high for everybody else to follow. Now what we're looking at is the multi-purpose big wipes here with the black lid, and also the heavy duty big wipes. Now if we start with the multi-purpose ones, the first thing you've got to do is open them up, get rid of the foil. Lovely smell these things have got. There's a lot of things like lanolin and lemon, and the great thing is that they're dermatologically tested, which means that they're not going to harm your hands. In the past, I mean, my hands have really had too much damage over the years, but in the past I used to use all kinds of aggressive hand cleaners, and they really do take their toll. They take all the oils out of your hands and put nothing back. But with these, you've got all kinds of ingredients in them, like aloe vera, which will go into the hands, and quite honestly, once you've cleaned your hands up with these, they feel softer. I'll just show you what you can do with them because it's really quite impressive. If we look at something like silicone, for example, nobody wants to get silicone on their hands. Nasty, nasty stuff. Very, very difficult, notoriously difficult to remove. And if we just get a wipe and we start going, I must emphasize that you have to do this before it cures. If you're trying to remove silicone that's been cured, it won't work. But you can see that it's just removing it perfectly easily. I mean, that really isn't difficult at all, is it? That's the genuine Dow Corning silicone, the one that is probably the brand leader, if you like. So we're not cheating here. We're not showing you anything like a water-based sealant that is easier to remove, that you can almost wash off under a tap. This is really the heavy stuff. Now you notice that even though this big wipe is now covered in silicone, it's still not depositing that silicone back on to my hands. So as I rub, it's just taking it off and absorbing it, storing it within the wipe itself. So a very impressive thing. But of course, it's not just to be used on hands. It's a multi-purpose wipe that you can use on all kinds of surfaces. I would just say, if you're going to think about using it on a fabric, you know, if you've got some adhesive on your work trousers, then you have to be careful, and also certain soft plastics it doesn't like. But for most things you'll find it's very good. Now I would also say that if you've got a wood grain and the sealant gets into the wood grain, it's obviously going to be very difficult to lift that out, but if you scrub a bit you can get the worst of it out. But the important thing is to hit it before it goes off, and the same applies to something like a foam, for example. Now this is notorious. Fixer foam, everybody knows expander foam is used everywhere in the building industry these days. It's a cure-all product, but when you get it on your hands, as you try not to, they give you a pair of gloves when you buy it, it really is the most awful product because it's on there and it just doesn't, and when it dries, the only way that you can get it off is almost just to wear it off. You know, I've had this on my hands for days on end sometimes, and of course if you get it on the surface where you don't want it, that's also a problem. So if you're going around the window and you get it on the window frame or on the glass or anything like that, then it's very difficult to get off. But just by taking one of these big wipes, you can just give it a little rub like that. You can see straight away it's absorbing the foam, polyurethane, and the same goes for expanding polyurethane glues, by the way. Same sort of thing. Now as you see, we just give it a wipe and all those lovely ingredients that are in there to clean. A lot of natural products, by the way, go into there. You can see straight away that I've managed to make a good job of cleaning up. So that is the multi-purpose big wipes. And it's very important, by the way, when you store these, that you pop that lid back on and seal it down, and that stops all that good ingredient from evaporating. And also, don't store them anywhere too hot. Like, don't leave them on the dashboard in your vehicle in the middle of the summer, you know, in the van. It helps if you can keep them reasonably cool, because obviously if that warms up, all that lovely additive that they've got in there, the chemicals, will dry out. So long as you keep that lid on, keep them somewhere reasonably cool, you'll be fine. But carry a tub of those on the van and you're covered for all eventualities, I'd say. Great for cleaning up in customers' houses. All kinds of spillages, all kinds of problems can be cleaned by those. So what do the big wipe heavy duty bring to the party that these fellas haven't got? Well, there's 80 big wipes in this tub, and in this tub there's 100. So you could actually feel the difference in weight between these two tubs. That's not just the extra 20 wipes, that's because these have got a 4-ply fabric on them. So let me show you what these have got. They're a different colour. So those are yellow, these are blue, so you can tell them apart. And the great thing about the heavy duty wipes is that they've got scrubbability. If you look at this fabric, you think, my goodness, what is in it? It looks almost transparent, but actually there's 4 plies, 4 different layers of fabric in there. And on one side it's smooth, and on the other side it's coarse. And that means that you can scrub. So again, if we put something like the black gunge on our hands, do a bit of that. Let's have a bit of paint on there. Let's go crazy. Bit of paint, everybody loves a bit of paint on your hands, bit of undercoat, sort of thing. If you finished up looking like that at the end of the day, you wouldn't be very happy. So you grab a big wipe from your tub, and it's got that heavy duty scrub side to it. So should we start with the scrub side? We'll just give it a go, see how we go. And you can see straight away, look at that. Look how quickly that takes all that rubbish off your hand. I say we're not cheating here. This is proper product. It's not fake paint or anything like that. We're not living in the age of fake paint yet. But there you are. It's a genuine demonstration of just how effective that is. Now, you can see that although I put a fair amount of adhesive on there and I'm scrubbing away, getting rid of it, using it on my hands, let's get that bit between the fingers away. I mean, this sort of thing, years ago, this was impossible to get off. You know, you use any number of different hand cleansers, and, you know, I used to end up using washing up liquid and then hot water and all sorts of things to try and get rid of this stuff, and you still didn't manage it. So, really, having a tub of wipes on your van all the time, if you're a tradesperson of any sort at all, I'd say is almost essential. You can see that I've got rid of everything off the hands, and the amazing thing is that that is not putting anything back on the surface. And to show you just how amazing that is, really, we've got all those 4 layers absorbing, and it's still not finished, right? So we've now got what you might call a fairly soiled wipe ready to go away, and we've got a clean surface here. So we would expect when we put a dirty wipe onto a clean surface that it would mark it in some way, but actually it doesn't give up. You know, if you were doing that with a cloth now, you'd be making a real mess on top of that surface. So, you know, we can put a bit more on there and we can just rub that around, scrub it up. As I say, we can use the rough side or the smooth side depending on how hard it is. So let's use the rough side there. And you see, and it's still, but this is one wipe. This is only one wipe of 100. And you can see that there's still plenty of life left in it. It's still got plenty of absorbency. Look at this, look. Would you imagine that you could take all that silicone sealant? So if you're going around a bath or something and you've got a bit to clean up, sealing around the shower, you've got silicone, then how do you get rid of those bits off the edge? After you finish, you just go round and wipe them all off. And similarly, if you're preparing a surface and you've got to remove all the grease and everything else from it, then this, you can see, is just beginning to get to the end of its tether. But look at that, look. I mean, that's got a lot of silicone, a lot of paint, and you've seen what I've done with it, and it's still going. So, okay, I think now we're reaching the end of the tether. So let's take this other one that we had. Here's the one we were using earlier. That's still got a bit of absorbency left. And we can just give it a nice wipe up there. And if you've got a spillage or you've got anything like that in the house and you've got to clean it up very, very quickly before the customer finds out, then you're really blessed the day that you had some wipes like this. So as I say, there are lots of different wipes about on the market, more and more. They're not all dermatologically tested, so they're not all suitable. So you won't see all of them with a picture of somebody wiping their hands because they haven't been proven to be harmless to your skin. And as I say, actually, my skin always ends up feeling better after I've used these than it was before. Don't use them on your face, by the way. It says for hands only. But there you are, that's big wipes, heavy duty, 100 in the tub, or the general purpose, multi-purpose ones here, 80 in the tub. The choice is yours. For me personally, I go for the heavy duty every time. So if you want to get hold of these, check out your approved local Real Deals for You stockist. So I'm Roger Bisbee from Skill Builder. Don't forget to come back and see us soon. Subscribe if you're not a subscriber. That way you'll keep up to date with everything that's going on Skill Builder, all our product tests and more Real Deals for You coming up. And also you can follow us on Facebook and Twitter.